replace him with Sportsman Dan. Sportsman Dan, I know. Rob.
Also, real quick, shout out Sportsman Dan.
Sportsman Dan, the other Dan. No, you go. What'd you call him for?
Can't call myself a countryman, 'cause I sit on my ass and don't work my land. One of these days I'll give a damn. Until then, well, I am what I am. Just call me a New York redneck.
Hey Creed, can you take me higher? You're the man, Creed. Let's go, O's!
At the track, Brooklyn ain't never coming back. Tim's on the ground in the concrete jungle. I might get into a little rumble.
Bump it.
Ain't nothing but a hot tail man. Bread on the farm, so I work with my hands. Just call me a New York redneck. Where's the banjo? Play that fella thing. And I might be high class, but my liquor is more. They took my land, so it ain't my fault. Just call me.
All right, welcome to episode 16 of the Sportsman Dan Show. And if you can't tell, I'm pretty excited today. I'm joined with my buddy David Sandlin of the Chicago White Sox. How you doing today, David?
Doing good. Happy to be here. Happy to reconnect and get it going again.
Yeah, so we're going to touch on some cool stuff. I will put the feather in my cap. I've been watching some of the reels from the White Sox social media team, and I saw one where they said, what's something you wish people would have asked you more about? And your answer was Star Wars. And I did officially ask you about Star Wars, at the previous podcast before that reel. So
Right.
I guess I was the first.
Yeah, I mean, I get asked pretty frequently, but it's just, I think the next reel that they posted was like, what could you talk about or give an hour lecture over? And it was also Star Wars. So that's kind of where I guess that stems from. I could talk about it all day.
No, well, we'll get to the Star Wars talk. Firstly, what's it like being in Chicago? I know that is a super cool, fun young White Sox team over there.
No, it's been awesome. Been a lot of fun. Some of the most fun I've been playing baseball. Reconnecting with some of the guys that came over in the crochet trade. And then, like I said, just a young team, so it's kind of wild cards. We got our vets, but us young guys are kind of rubbing off on them, and it's been a lot of fun messing around with them, getting insight from them, but seeing them kind of have fun with us as well and embrace the youngness of the team.
That's awesome. So, I mean, I guess coming in, you are, not quite a vet, but you do have that experience. What's been the biggest focus for you this spring?
Just get my body in the right place, take care of myself, getting ready for season, realize it's obviously spring training. Yeah, I want to compete for a spot on the roster and everything. Try to break camp with the team, but at the same time, it's spring. I want to be available throughout the rest of the year rather than being available just for the month of April or the end of March.
Totally get that. And no, I'm rooting for you to break camp. I think you have a shot as well. But if you do, go to Charlotte. I am nearby Norfolk, so if you need any tips for Harbor Park, maybe I can try to give a little bit of insight. Not sure I could probably help that much.
No, it's actually kind of funny how it all worked out. If that is the case, going to Charlotte, that's where my fiance and her parents are actually from.
No kidding.
So having that kind of close proximity to future family and everything, getting to be around them, and honestly, she'll probably get to knock out some of the stuff for the upcoming wedding during the season if I start there. So that'll be good.
Nice. And not to sidetrack too much, but that's exciting about the wedding. I did see photos. It looks like you guys went to that music festival out there in Tempe.
Yeah, we went, what would that have been, 2 nights ago? Yeah, we got to see, showed up for Dierks Bentley, got to see the
Nice.
Osborne brothers, and then, I mean, spring training's got me like an old man, so when Luke Bryan came on at 9 p.m., I only got to stay for a few songs before I needed to get back and get to sleep.
No, I feel you. No, it looked like an awesome experience. And then to relate to the old man thing, I was watching the UNC Virginia Tech basketball game last night, and always rooting for Virginia Tech. Always root for Virginia. But my brother's like, you have to stay up. He's 25. I was like, dude, I don't have it in me. It's about 10 o'clock. I'm ready for bed.
Oh yeah, no, I mean we're getting up. I live about 40 minutes away from our complex down here. So
Okay.
I'm waking up probably 6 a.m. almost every morning to kind of get there, get my stuff done in the training room, get some breakfast in me, and get ready for the day, or whether we have meetings or not. So it's been pretty early nights. I think I'm in bed, ready to go to sleep, just about 10 o'clock every night.
Cool. Well, we won't let this interview go too long then. But no, I'm sure it was a good time to be able to get out for a weekend and see some awesome live music. I love country music as well.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I know my fiance was really excited about it. She's really looking forward to Dirk Bentley. And then I'm a huge Luke Bryan fan, so getting to see him in person for the first time was a lot of fun. And then got to actually run into some buddies that I was with on the Royals, and one buddy that was on the Royals that I was also at the University of Oklahoma with. So it was cool to kind of see them reconnect. Obviously going to be hanging out with them at some other times throughout spring training, and hopefully see them when they come play us, I think next Sunday. So
Yeah, a little bit of trash talk maybe.
yeah, I'll try to figure out if I can remember how to get under their skin or not. So we'll see what happens.
Sounds good. One more question, I guess, before we get into the Star Wars. Is there a certain thing in spring training? I know in the past you've done it in Florida, correct? Or no, with Kansas City, maybe the spring training was in Arizona as well, right?
Yeah, so I've had one spring training. This is my second spring training in Arizona, and then the
Okay.
previous two had been in Florida.
Is there a preference to one or the other? Is it overall pretty similar? The same idea.
Both have their positives. I'd say Florida, like being in Fort Myers, being so central, and like it's just us and the Twins, or it was just us and the Twins there when I was with the Red Sox. That traffic wasn't as bad. Traffic out here is pretty rough because, like I said, going to the field at like 7 in the morning, everybody else is going to work. So that can get a little dicey sometimes. Then, of course, in Florida, you have the beach. But out here, I don't know. It seems like there's a little bit more to do out here. A little bit bigger, and as well as the weather is a little bit better. Florida's got the humidity, and that can really take it out of you some of those days.
Fair enough, but also that humidity, it helps keep the ball in the park too, or maybe not so much.
Yes,
Is that
it
maybe a
does.
lost
But at
advantage?
the same time, you can't grip the pitches because you're sweating so much.
Okay, that makes sense. I just
Yeah.
know here in Harbor Park, everyone's Basayo and all them are complaining about like the ballpark, that humidity. But that's a good pitcher perspective. A lot of people don't think about.
Yep.
That kid. I was gonna say, I love that you say like I'm going to the field when everyone else is going to work. You're also going to work, David. That
Yeah.
counts. But I like that. I don't know, maybe perspective. You think of it going to a field, you get to play baseball, but that is your job, and you do get paid to do it. So I always think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's our job, and kind of play a kid's game for work. So it doesn't feel like work, but I guess.
I love your perspective on that. And talking about your perspective, it'd be a shame not to bring up Star Wars. And maybe I've been alluding to this too much just because I didn't get a chance to touch on all these last time we met up. So first of all, I was going to ask you, prequels, originals, or sequels, as far as Star Wars goes, is there a certain favorite for you?
That's tough. Definitely take the sequels out of it. That's the easiest part of the answer.
Okay.
But I feel like I grew up on the prequels, so it's a little easier for me to go prequels. Like I'm a huge fan. My favorite Star Wars movie is Episode 3, so obviously lean towards that. And then number 2, I like a lot, but like it's hard to beat the OGs, the original 3. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a toss up in that essence, but like I said, Episode 3 is my favorite, so I guess I'd lean towards the prequels a little bit, and that's kind of my generation as well.
No, that's fair. And I'm dating myself, but I remember dressing up to go as a kid in theaters for Episode 3 because I saw that in theaters. But anyway, great answer. And for my second question here, I recently ranked my Mount Rushmore of baseball players just based off like my favorites. Not necessarily the greatest, but my Mount Rushmore of baseball players from my childhood was Cal Ripken Jr., Carlos Delgado, David Wright, and Barry Bonds, just because of the impact they had at me at a young age. If you had to do your Mount Rushmore of Star Wars characters, so you only get 4, who would your 4 characters be?
That's tough. Because I feel like you gotta separate Vader and Anakin into 2 different people. Obviously, I'm throwing
That's
Obi-Wan
fair.
Kenobi up there. I would do Yoda,
Nice.
Vader,
Eh,
and I feel like you got to go Palpatine.
Oh, I like that you did a little 2-2 mix there with
Yeah.
the Jedi Sith there. Okay. Emperor Palpatine. Any reason you went with him? I feel like that was kind of an obscure one.
I just feel like his relevance to really every movie, because even in the sequels, whether I like them or not, like everything ties back into him. So like he's kind of the guy that is around for it all.
That's a good point. I mean, he kind of sees. He's sort of like I don't know, Wizard of Oz, the Oz
Yeah.
behind the curtain, right? He's overseeing. No, great answer. All right, another Star Wars question here for you. If you could have a walk-up song, maybe while you're warming up to pitch before you start the first inning, if you had to do a walk-up song inspired by Star Wars, what would it be?
Duel of Fates, easy.
Okay, I'm not as familiar with that, so I'll make sure to listen to it.
That's the
And maybe
Darth. I believe I could be wrong if I misspoke, but that should be the Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon song.
okay. Dun, 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 dun,
Yep.
dun, dun. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, that's a great song, and I'm sure you're not wrong. I bet you got that spot on. But episode 1, the Naboo TIE Fighter, that one, that episode, that Star Wars movie has a special place in my heart. All right, before we get back to baseball, one last Star Wars question. David, if you had to choose, are you Jedi or are you Sith?
Jedi, easy.
Would you go blue lightsaber, green lightsaber, purple?
I feel like I'd go blue. That's just too classic.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah, I'd have to go blue.
No, I think blue's a good classic one. For me, green matches my eyes, might pop a little more. But no, I appreciate your time, David, and for these silly questions. I know y'all had a game today, so it really does mean a lot to you popping in for a quick interview. I got one last
Absolutely.
segment for you, if
All right, let's
you're
do
ready.
it. Yeah, let's hit
Cool.
it.
So collecting segment, for some of you guys that probably don't know, I met David through a friend of a friend of a friend, but he's into collecting cards the same way that I am. So I got to ask you, David, knowing that, you're friends with collectors, did you collect baseball cards as a kid?
Yeah, obviously wasn't into it or didn't have the knowledge that I kind of have now. It wasn't a kind of profit kind of thing like a lot of people do.
Right.
Like I just had binders full of baseball cards, football cards, and had them organized by team. And I just liked them like based off of like, oh, I know this guy, or oh, this card looks cool. Like when I got in, kind of started learning about it more and how like much money like is in it, I like went and looked back. I was like, oh man, I wonder if these cards are worth anything. And most of them were worth like 50 cents still. Like they're just worthless cards, but they look cool and they were part of my childhood. So I think it was always kind of part. And then obviously when I got my own card, kind of dove into it a little bit more, and then knowing so many guys that have their cards, collecting the guys that I know and everything. The rest of them I kind of just either give away or will sell. But trying to collect guys that I know when their card drops, it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, no, that's awesome. I will say I went through a similar experience with my cards. I was like going through all of them, and the ones like, oh, my Marion Barber rookie card. I was a big Cowboys fan. This will be worth something someday. Rest in peace, Marion Barber. But that card means a lot more to me than what like you said, the 50 cents or whatever I'd sell it for. It was funny, like all my Cowboys cards and Mets cards are like worn to crap. But I had a numbered Chipper Jones card, but I hated the Braves. But it's in like immaculate condition because I'd never touched it because I hated Chipper Jones.
Exactly.
So it is kind of funny. Yeah, it's sort of funny. Like I'll never sell any of those cards. The nostalgia it just means more to me. Before we get to your current collecting, I did want to ask, did you have a certain guy growing up? Was there a certain baseball player or pitcher that you loved collecting?
No, I would say it was more of just teams. Like for baseball, it would have been the Cardinals. Growing up a Cardinals fan, so maybe I would have leaned towards like trying to get Pujols cards. And then with the Colts and football, I try to get either Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Peyton Manning, Dallas Clark, Joseph Dye, those guys, those kind of cards.
Yeah. Adam Vinatieri. Yeah, I was a kicker. I gotta mention.
I think I think I have one of his. Surprisingly enough, I think he did have a card just because how much of a legend he is.
Yeah.
That I think I have. I pretty much have that whole team from 2006 when they won the Super Bowl. Um, I think I pretty much have that team's cards.
That's sick. Yeah, I'm starting to go back and collect a lot of those guys I loved to watch as a kid. But a different perspective. You sort of touched on it. Having your own card. I'm currently working on your rainbow. I haven't quite completed it yet, but I saw you got your Bowman, the blue, the My First Bowman auto, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, that was really cool. The guy was super, super helpful. That's one thing is kind of getting into the card shows and like with Garrett, which is the friend of the friend of the friend. But him kind of introducing me into it, introducing me to the backyard breaks. Those guys being super helpful to me, announcing in their streams that like I was looking for my cards, and then that led to DMs from people when the cards were getting pulled, and luckily enough, that got pulled. I got tagged in it. Worked out a deal with the guy that had it. He was gracious enough to give it to me, so I was super thankful for that.
That's awesome.
And it was super cool to get that. I don't think I've completed the rainbow either. Still kind of got a few to knock out. But at the same time, it's like I feel like I would have completed it, but would give them away to like parents or my sisters, or my fiance's dad has like a UB10 black reptilian or something
Ooh.
like that. Yeah. His boss gave it to him, bought it and gave it to him for a gift, I guess.
No, that's so cool, and I love that you're giving them out too. I know you got. I appreciate your time, so I got a couple more questions for you, David. Last one here. Do any teammates collect as well? Are you giving out cards to some teammates?
No one's asked. But if they do, the guy that actually really took me under his wing and kind of explained it was my teammate from high school and junior college, who is with the Kansas City Royals, Nate Ackenhausen. Super
Okay.
into it. So like, I remember he pulled I think of 25 auto of mine before I could even pull just like a base, like no auto. And I was like, how are you getting that card? Not me. So I've helped. He's helped me out a lot. So I've signed a couple cards for him as well. No, the big kick right now, I think, in the locker room is actually Pokemon cards.
Okay.
That's what a lot of the guys are. I'll watch some of the guys rip packs or something when we just have nothing to do in the locker room or we're killing time. So that's been fun.
Man, that's funny. It all comes back to Pokemon. I mostly just do sports cards because I enjoy talking sports, but I'm slowly doing some of the vintage Pokemon that I grew up with. So I got like a Arcanine, a little Gyarados. So it's like, man, I'm doing this again. But no, this is not a Pokemon podcast. It is a baseball podcast. David, I appreciate you taking your time out, man, and I look forward to watching you this season. And also anyone out there with some Bowman Chrome first, especially some numbered David Sandlins. I think I need the yellow Chrome parallel, so please
There you
reach
go.
out. David, any card you're chasing for yourself, the next PC pickup?
I think I would need a numbered red. I think that's the main one I'm going after.
Okay. That's a good one. I know I need your Peanuts parallel too. I just found out that existed.
Yeah, I was scouring eBay actually the other day, and it was like some just absurd prices for the cards, and I'm like, come on guys, like it's not worth that. And it's like I think the bubblegum auto or something. I was like, man, I'm not gonna message that guy and try to work out a deal.
I mean, that's funny when the guy whose card it is saying it's not worth that. I think that's a probably fair, pretty fair reference.
But hey, it's cool to see it, so I'm not complaining at all.
No, I think it's just a super cool part of the hobby, and you got a great perspective on it. So, David, thank you again for your time. That's it here from the Sportsman Dan Show. Fumbling over my words. I look forward to having you back soon.
Absolutely, anytime. Thank you.